Good morning, Amani. How's everybody today? Good. It's so good to see you all. My name is Marcy Mitchell. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to our Sunday morning experience here at the Amani Center. We have some wonderful online speaker and music today. It's going to be a really special Sunday. I'm so glad you're here. So we're going to open by singing our opening song, and we have the very wonderful Lea Morris here with us today. So prepare to enjoy the beautiful music of Lea.
Good morning, Amani Center. My name is Lea Morris. It is a pleasure to share music with you again today. If you're familiar with this song, I invite you to sing along. Oh, oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, going home to my Lord to be free. No more crying, no more crying, no more crying over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, going home to my Lord to be free. They'll be singing, they'll be singing, there will be singing, there will be singing over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, going home to my Lord to be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, going home to my Lord to be free. Be free.
Oh, I love her. Obviously, she's taken to our July theme, which is freedom. So let us release the kids to the kid program. They're going to have some fun today with Nicole and Addie. Have a great time. Okay. So welcome to the Amani Center. We are so glad you are with us here today. We like to begin our service by speaking our vision statement aloud together. So let's say it aloud. We are lighting the path to peace together. And I'm going to read you our mission statement just to give you a little bit more information about us. We are here to provide inspiring, inclusive, and empowering opportunities to learn and grow in a loving, innovative, spiritually based community. And so that's who we are here at the Amani Center. We are open and inclusive spiritual community. We believe there are many paths to the divine, and so we're just so grateful to support you on whatever your path is. And we are a place to learn and to grow and to be, and a safe and welcoming space where you can fill your own cup. So I'm glad you showed up today. I'm grateful to be here with you. Is there anyone here for the first time? Feels comfortable putting your hand up? Okay, if you're online and it's your first time, please drop a note and we would love to send you our little trifold along with a little gift. We're really grateful that you tuned in. Another thing that we do here at the Amani Center is our affirmative prayer, and that is brought to you by our Circle of Light. So if anyone is here from the Circle of Light, if you would raise a hand or stand up just to let everyone see who you are. So we are here to provide affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment with you after service or any time that you would like to be reminded of the truth of who you are. When you are struggling with something, when you're trying to bring something in, when you're just feeling ingratitude and you want more of that, reach out to one of us. It is our great honor and our great joy and our purpose here to do treatment with you. And Angie's wonderful. She'll be sitting right here after service. If you'd like to step up there, it would be her great honor to do some work with you. All right, we'll take a moment and go into our announcements. As I said, the theme for July is freedom. And so here is our wonderful lineup for the month. Today is the wonderful Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. He is a fantastic speaker. He's coming to us from the East Coast. Next week, we're going to have wonderful Yuli Lagakis, practitioner and longtime member of our Circle of Light here. Then we'll have ministerial intern Mitch Austin on the 16th, Reverend Sherry Wynn on the 23rd, and then it's a 5-Sunday month, so we're bringing Lucian Baker back on the 30th, and he'll be here in the space. So it's going to be a great month at Amani. Tune in or show up, whatever is working for you in your life. We're grateful to have you here. Here's some of the stuff going on in July. So tomorrow night is the full moon. Some of you might have seen it last night. It's just almost there, and I keep hearing how beautiful it was. So show up for this wonderful ritual tomorrow. We circle up the chairs right here, and we'll do some rituals, some meditation. We talk about what this particular moon is doing, what's going on, why are you feeling whatever you're feeling, and we do some community time. If assuming that it's supposed to drop considerably tomorrow, if it's cool enough, we'll sit out and moonbathe out there. If not, we'll still have some time of community here together. Drum Circle is on July 14th, so that's always the second Friday. That's a fantastic event also. Great way to be in community, have some fun, bang on a drum, shake a maraca, do whatever to just feel that beat. And there is a physiological calming of your body and raising of your spirit when you take some time to do some drumming, especially in community. So do come for that. We have set up a teen play date with finger painting and clay. So this is Addie's little brainchild, and this is something that's going to be really fun for the teens. So if you know someone, a teen, they're home, they're bored, they're looking for something to do, this will be in person here, finger painting, having fun with clay, and just having some time together. So please encourage them to come. That's on July 21st at 6:30, and everybody is welcome. And that is just an open activity. There's no charge for that. And then we have another social event. The social event for July will be a karaoke night here at the Amani Center. So that's the last Friday of the month, July 28th. So show up, bring a dish. We did game night this last Friday, and we had a great time. So just a chance to come and do something fun with some friends and break bread together and laugh and have a good time. A couple of big events that we have coming up also is our play shop with Don Schultz. You're going to be making your own drums. So this is really a special workshop. You must sign up for this ahead of time. So there's Don's information at the bottom of the slide. You can also find it on the website and on our Facebook page. You have to connect with him to decide what size drum you want, what kind of skin you want, and pay for it ahead of time by the 10th of July. And then it'll be too late. So please don't miss this because you thought you could sign up at the last minute. This is a particular one. He needs to have all of the stuff ready and ordered. And then on the 30th, we are going to have a little question and answer period after service on the Academy. So if you have questions about classes we offer, if you're thinking about becoming a practitioner, becoming a minister, or you just want to level up your transformation, your personal journey, this is a great time to show up and ask questions from the masters, Reverend Pixie and Reverend Belinda. All right, here is our big fundraiser for the summer. This will be on July 15th, so that's coming up in just a couple of weeks. We are doing a hoedown, and we did secure the random strangers again. So it's going to be so fun. We will be inside in the air conditioning. We're going to have the tables out. We're going to have food. We're going to have the dessert dash. Some of you may have participated in. A lot of fun. It's a pledge drive. It's a chance to make money for the center. It is a free event, so everyone is welcome to come, listen to music, dance, and participate in the prosperity of the Amani Center. All right, so that's it for our announcements. If you haven't already silenced your phones, please take a moment and do that. And we will take a moment now to bless the service and get kind of quiet here. So I encourage you to set aside anything that's in your lap, Put your feet flat on the floor. If it feels comfortable, allow your eyes to close as you receive that calming breath, becoming still and present, letting go all of the busyness and the energy to come into this quieter space where we connect and where we open up to our divine truth, knowing that we are one with spirit, with God, with the universe, with nature, whatever word you use. Know that we are all connected in this divine energy that is all loving, all giving, all abundant, and truth and kindness and good, all good. And so from this place of connection,
Once again, I invite you to sing along. Freedom is my birthright. Freedom is my birthright. I was born in freedom. I must grow in freedom. I claim my freedom now. Freedom is your birthright. Freedom is your birthright. You were born in freedom. You must grow in freedom. I bless your freedom now. Freedom to love. Freedom to live, free to receive, free to forgive. Freedom is our birthright. free to receive, and free to forgive. Oh, oh, freedom is my birthright. Freedom is my birthright. I was born in freedom. I must grow in freedom. I claim my freedom now. Freedom is my birthright. Freedom is my birthright. Freedom is my birthright. Freedom is my birthright. I was born in freedom. I was born in freedom. I must grow in freedom. I must grow in freedom. I claim my freedom now. I claim my freedom now.
And so we continue with this idea of freedom, free will, that we are creatures of free will, and that even the guardian angels that surround us at all times cannot act on our behalf without us first asking and opening the door, as we are beings of free will. And God did not even imbue his precious angels with free will. That is something unique to mankind. And so we remember that it is ours and that we can utilize it at any time, in any way that we choose, so long as it harms no other. And so we take this free will now into ourselves, into our relationships, into our circumstances, and we take a look around and see where we could exercise some of this freedom into any of these experiences to improve your livingness of them, your beingness of them. And you take it in now and you share it with those that you love. You share it with those that you know and trust, and you share with new beings that you are yet to get to know and trust. And you are so very, very grateful for that. And it is with a very grateful heart that I release my word, knowing that even as I speak it, it is already done, as together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Angie. All right, another song from Lea Morris.
This is a medley of songs, spirituals that I learned as a little girl growing up in the Baptist church. The messages in these songs continue to have meaning and to provide succor and nourishment as all of us continue on our spiritual journey, regardless of the religious or metaphysical path that we choose to take. So once again, I invite you, if the songs are familiar or as they become familiar, to sing along, to internalize these messages. Make them your own. Allow them to be part of your personal canon. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long way from home. How long, how long, how long must we cry in vain? I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing, and march when the Spirit says march around. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout, and watch the walls come tumbling down. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, and the walls came tumbling down. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, and the walls keep crying in vain. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says child, and march when the Spirit says march around. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout, and watch the walls keep crying in vain. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout, march when the Spirit says march, when the Spirit says shout, when the Spirit says shout, so that watch the walls come tumbling down.
Amazing. I love her. That's Lea Morris. If you're not following her online or she sends out her songs in email, I would sign up for her email. She's fantastic. And so now it is my great honor to introduce today's speaker, also from the East Coast. We've had him here several times. He's a wonderful speaker, and he's someone else that you should follow on your Instagram, on your whatever information you're bringing in. He is a warrior for justice and equality, and his voice is so important right now. And so I'm very grateful to bring back the wonderful Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson.
Namaste and greetings, beloved Amani Center. It is such a pleasure to be with you again. And if you are ready, let's jump in. Because I very easily could start with Happy 4th of July, Happy Independence Day, considering it's just a few days away, but I will not. Rather, I will affirm that we all have an awakening and active 4th. And the reason for that is very simple. We collectively, as a collective consciousness, have yet to truly understand and embody this idea of freedom, independence, emancipation, equity, justice. We throw the word around very much with great Freedom! Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty. We're free at last. And the land of the free. We throw freedom around, and yet, do we really, truly grasp what freedom is, what liberty is, what equity and justice, what they are? Do we really? Today's title was inspired by Fannie Lou Hamer, who says, "None of us are free until all of us are free." She also says, "When I liberate myself, I liberate others," which very similarly Marianne Williamson said when she said, "When we shine our light, when we live our true and empowered and authentic selves, when we live out loud, we give others permission to do the same. So by this, when I liberate myself, when I free myself, when I emancipate myself, I do this for others." But once again, I have to know what it means. You say liberate, you say freedom, you say, what do these words mean? What do these concepts mean? So what is freedom? Because oftentimes we don't think about freedom until freedom is being challenged. A freedom is potentially being taken away, such as the freedom to read whatever it is you want to read, the freedom to marry whomever it is you want to marry, the freedom to use your pronouns and be respected for who you are. We don't think about our freedoms until they are being challenged. We take freedom for granted. So pause, this being just the tip of the iceberg, are we ready to really dive deeper in? Because if we are, let's start with, there are generally two dimensions to this idea of freedom. You can be freed from something, such as the influence of slavery, the impact of the Holocaust, an abusive relationship, homomisia, which I no longer refer to it as homophobia because these people are not afraid of the LGBTQ folks. They hate them. So homomisia, being freed from racism and sexism, meaning these things have no effect on us. Viktor Frankl, being freed from the Holocaust, right? The Holocaust and Hitler's Germany no longer had an effect on him. Being freed from, dimension number one. Dimension number two, being free to be, do, have, to live as you desire. And this idea is about privilege. You are free to get a cup of coffee when you want, where others don't even have food. Privilege. You are free to turn on your faucet, depending on where you live. Turn on your faucet and have clean, usable, drinking, bathing water. Privilege. Because there are those who can turn on their faucet and their water is anything but drinkable or usable. Now let's ask, are you free to vote? Depending on what's what is what, most of us are free to vote. Yet we know, based upon history, there was a time not so long ago when Black people could not vote, when women did not have the right or the freedom to vote. So wait, pause. You mean someone's free? Wait a minute. So let's pause and ask, what are you free from? And what are you free to be, do, have as you desire? Because when we really think about it, there are, as I said, there are many people who do not have food. There are many people who live in a food desert. There are many people who, any number of things. And yet, how many of us are free to go to the grocery store, get some orange juice, and simply because we choose to? How did we get to the grocery store? Did we take a bus? Privilege. Did we drive a car? Even more privilege. Pause and really think about all of the things you are freed from and all of the things you are free to. And from this space, we move into, well, then what is freedom from a spiritual understanding? So let's start with the question, is God free? Now sit with that for a moment, because I'm going to tweak the question. Is God free? Or is God freedom itself? See, one of those questions anthropomorphizes God. Is God free? Then God is free to do whatever God wants to do. Some more anthropomorphic view. But if God is freedom itself, then freedom is a God quality. Because can anything bind God, enslave God, restrict God, or imprison God? No. You cannot bind, enslave, restrict, imprison, love, God qualities. And yet each of us, as these things called human beings operating in the way that we operate, we do in fact bind, curtail, enslave, punish, and imprison the incarnations of God, both as ourselves and as others, in all kinds of ways, for all kinds of reasons. Some of those reasons are justified and necessary, based upon our laws, our ethics, our morals, safety, etc., per se, and others are not, such as abiding by the posted speed limits. That says you are not free to drive as fast as you want, whenever you want, not without consequence. When a parent grounds their child, puts them on punishment, gives them a curfew, they are restricting the incarnation of God, the incarnation of the divine, saying, be back in this house by 6 p.m. You are no longer allowed to be out till 11 because you got an F on your math exam. You're grounded for the weekend. No television, no Xbox. They're putting restrictions on the incarnation of the divine. Now, we're not saying that that's bad. What we're saying is be aware that we do it, because if we're really going to step into this space of when I liberate myself, I liberate others, then we really want to understand how we operate within this whole scope of what freedom is and what freedom is not. How we avail ourselves to be free, to have free, to live free for ourselves and others, and how we also might be engaging in the restrictions of and the taking away of others and ourselves freedom. When someone breaks the law, they spend time in the penitentiary or jail system. We are incarcerating an incarnation of God. There's a certain time frame when a student, K through 12, is required to go to school, K through 12, from the hours of 8 to 3 or whatever they are. And I'm old enough to remember the truant officers who would roam around looking for truant students who were playing hooky to either take you back to school or take you home. Because the system is set up in a certain way where we are to operate within the confines. Now, the confines need not be seen as a bad, quote unquote, bad thing. Our internal organs are confined to the inside for a reason. There's a boundary called skin that covers this entity to give us the freedom to be able to live how we desire to live. Because flip it around, put the skin on the inside and my heart and everything else, it changes the way we move and operate, because where's the protection for the internal organs? Right? So let's be mindful and understand that in order to really have freedom, to be free, to live free, and to liberate others, sometimes that includes and requires boundaries. There's a passage in the Bible, Matthew 25, 37 through 40, short story, where the disciples and folks were like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, my paraphrase from the Bible according to Ray, where the disciples say, yo, Jesus, when did we see you hungry and we didn't feed you? When did we see you thirsty and we didn't give you something to drink? When did we see you as a stranger and we didn't invite you in? When did we see you naked and we didn't give you clothing? Wait, when did we see you sick and we didn't take care of you, and you were in prison and we didn't visit you? Like, when did, Lord, there is not a time. And Jesus said, hush up now, hush up, because what I'm telling you is every time you have done that to any of these other people, you have done it to me. Now, Jesus represents this metaphysical lesson of, because if I liberate myself and I liberate others, then when I am not taking care of someone who is an incarnation of God, I'm not taking care of God. And that may be me. When I am not engaging in self-care for myself, self-worth, self-love, then I am not honoring God to the degree that I could. So the invitation is to say, then what is mine to do? Where am I seeing someone who is hungry? Doesn't even have to be hungry for literal food, hungry for the truth, hungry for a hug, hungry for conversation, hungry for just to be recognized. And am I willing to offer and provide something that sustains and nourishes and eliminates their hunger? When they are, whatever it is, when they are thirsty for, when they are in pain, when they are lonely, isolated, when they are grieving and sad, when they are, whatever it is, am I willing, am I availing myself to be someone who says, when I see someone else who is not liberated, I liberate myself so that I am now better able to be a 21st century New Thought Good Samaritan, to be a beneficial presence to another. When we gather in spiritual community, we are studying, we are taking classes and workshops, spiritual education, spiritual practices. For the purpose of what, though? What is the goal? Why do we gather in spiritual community? Why do we come together with this supposed goal of creating a world that works for all? Why? Pause and really think about that. What is the goal? When we think about Dr. Ernest Holmes in his Declaration of Principles, specifically number 5, he states, we believe that the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom, a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Now, many of us wrestle with this and we're like, well, wait a minute, if you remove all discord, then we're just going to be lazy blobs. No, 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 no. See, there's a difference between divine discord, that thing that makes the artist want to draw and paint and sculpt, that makes the musician want to create music, right? That makes the chef want to create a new way to make lasagna or red velvet cake. Divine discord. There is no trauma or suffering that says, oh, woe is me, I must create red velvet cake for. There is no suffering that's causing that. Divine discord. What I believe Holmes is saying here is, we are removing all of this unnecessary discord, this discord of Holocaust, of racism, of sexism, of homomesia. All of this discord, we don't need it. We don't want it. We are healing and transmuting and transcending it. But there's still going to be divine discord, the creative urge that wants to birth itself as that next painting, that next poem, that next hug, that next conversation. Breathe. Because I have a question. Have you really thought about not just what it means, freedom or whatever, but what it looks like as a lived experience? See, it's one thing to read a recipe, to understand the recipe, the ingredients, the mixing, the baking. I can read it. 4 cups of flour followed by 2 tablespoons of sugar, followed by 1 tablespoon of nutmeg, You mix, you sift, you fold, you bake. We can read it. It's one thing to understand, to be aware of its meaning. It's a completely different thing to now gather the ingredients and then follow the recipe to actually cook, create the meal, and then to eat it, to enjoy it, to be nourished by it, to share it, to break bread with others. The actual experience of it is a very different thing. Very different thing, which is why Holmes said one of the greatest difficulties in the new order of thought is that we are likely to indulge in too much theory and too little practice. So let's pause. Don't theorize about freedom, practice it, embody it. When Holmes said at the Asilomar gathering in 1959, the Sermon by the Sea, you find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is and use it and live it as a way of life. And I myself will live to see a new world, a world that works for all, a new heaven, a new earth, right here and right now. What is religious science? What is unity? What is new thought? What is metaphysics? Do we know what it is? Just here? Do we even know what it is as a theory? Are we ready to practice it, to embody it, to live it as a way of life? Because if we are really going to step into this idea of what it means to be free, to treat and move our feet, then we are deeply invited to a new level of understanding, a new level of practice, a new level of embodiment, where we don't simply practice new thought, but we are it. As an African-American man, I don't practice being African-American, I am it. As a minister, I don't practice being a minister, I am that. And that shows up in how I do various other things. Are we ready to truly treat and move our feet in the way that Frederick Douglass does when he says, I prayed for freedom for 20 years, but I only received it when I prayed with my legs. I prayed for freedom for 20 years, but received no answer until I prayed with my legs, until I moved my feet, treat and move your feet, until I took conscious action. That's why mental equivalent, the thoughts you think, the words you use to communicate, your emotions and your feelings, and your actions. If you want to be free, if you want to have others be free, and I mean true freedom, freedom as a God quality, not freedom as Hitler was free to do what he did with his pseudo power. I'm not talking about that level of freedom, right? Because that's collective consciousness level of freedom based upon manipulation, fear, control, and domination. That's not true freedom. So if we want there to be true freedom in our lives and in our world, then we are being invited to ask ourselves, what are we treating about but not moving about? Are we treating about freedom but not moving about freedom? Are we treating about health but not moving about health? Are we treating about love and joy and relationships, but not moving about love and joy and relationships? Are we treating about building our communities, but not moving about building our communities? Then we are being invited to a deeper, serious conversation about, are we ready? Are we ready to truly do what we are being called to do? Are we truly ready to step into the energy of there is only one life? And that life is God. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. There is only one life, and that life is God, and that life is freedom itself. And that life, that freedom is mine right now. And what is true of me is true of you. But are you ready to step into that? Are you ready to embody that? Breathe. Breathe. Whatever is true about God is already right here and right now true about each and every one of us. Breathe. And allow that truth to truly set you free. Breathe. And so it is. Much love and appreciation. Take care. See you soon.
This song was inspired by the spiritual peace like a river, in reminder to myself of the freedom that I possess and that each of us do possess to decide how we respond, how we show up, even in the face of the most challenging circumstances. Trouble above, trouble below, trouble ahead of me. What do you know? Wake up in the morning. What do I find? Trouble is everywhere, but ain't none on my mind. 'Cause I got peace like a river, love through the night. I got joy like a fountain. I'm gonna be alright. Yeah, I got rhythm and harmony ringing in me. Love is free, peace is free, joy is free, free, free. Whatever way free, free. This song was inspired by the spiritual Peace Like a River, in reminder to myself of the freedom that I possess and that each of us do possess to decide how we respond, how we show up, even in the face of the most challenging circumstances.